Good morning and welcome again. It's Atlantic Television Network. The program is Atlantic Blowout, and it's a syndicated live program of the network that features chit-chats and conversations and special interest topics on news, events and stories through correspondence reports, expert opinion and stakeholders analysis. Today we'll be looking at the story on immigration, where the MCDN has said that Nigeria can actually put an end to brain drain, especially when we talk about brain drain among medical doctors. And then on fuel scarcity, NNPCL may get to stop petrol importation. What then would happen to Nigeria's to the petrol or the petroleum sector in Nigeria? But this is a statement by IPMAN. They said that NPCL has actually referred this to them. But then on health, we have reports that resident doctors have ended the strike. This is going to bring celebration a lot of kindness, because Nigerians were very skeptical and scared at some point, were worried when the resident doctors went on strike. But what about the no pay or no work, no pay policy by the federal government? We'll find out more when we delve to the details of that story. And then on our next story, Binance executive reports worsening health at Kuje Correctional Center, right? And then on the economy, experts advocate exports to boost the naira. And on education, SANO urges prompt payment of withheld salaries. Lecturers at it again. We have our guests who we'll be talking to concerning these topics when we delve to the details. After this break, please stay with us. All right, with me in the studio is the royal chief himself. I'm talking about no other than Chief Magnus Edo. He is the traditional ruler and the public affairs analyst, amongst many other things. One of the amazing Nigerians we have who always talk for change and development. Good morning to you, Chief. How are you doing?
Thank you. God bless you. Thanks.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
Despite
you.
all the odds.
Yes, I'm here. For the good
Welcome.
of our people.
Of course, of course. Let's talk about this story about immigration and brain drain in the health sector. We have reports that Dr. Fatima Kari, the Registrar of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, emphasized that improving the welfare and working conditions of health workers is crucial to stopping the current migration of medical professionals from Nigeria to other countries. Now, speaking at the induction ceremony of new doctors from Gregory University, she highlighted the negative impact of this exodus on Nigeria's healthcare sector. Dr. Kari, represented by Dr. Victor Kolawole, urged the government to create a better working environment to retain skilled doctors in the country. The ceremony also featured addresses from the university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Celestina Njoku, and other officials who urged the new doctors to uphold professional ethics and deliver excellent service. The event concluded with the induction of 26 new doctors who praised for their resilience and commitment to their profession. Now, this story is actually talking about ways in which the government can put an end to brain drain. That's having brain drain in the health sector is having medical doctors or healthcare practitioners leave the country to other countries, and most of the time for greener pastures. Is this something that we can really put an end to in Nigeria?
I think the government needs to do more by ensuring that the infrastructure within the health sectors has been fixed. We have the best doctors in the world. We produce the best doctors, but we don't take care of them as the way it's supposed to be. They are poorly paid. The allowances are not paid when due, and then the conditions of service sometimes in the areas they worked, mostly you send them for those that are in the private sector. Those that are in the private sector that choose to work in the private sector. Sometimes in a remote area where they are there to save lives, how protected are they? Okay, you see battalions of soldiers going with local government chairmen and government appointees. The doctors that save lives look as if they are nobody. Nobody cares about them. And if they are not there, we are nowhere. So I think they have right to choose where they will live better. They have right. It's their right. We only beg them not to travel out.
You know, it's not only doctors that are even traveling out for greener pastures. In other professions, it almost feels like every young person, when you discuss their dream with them, you find out that one of it is to travel out of the country. So it seems like when you get to a particular age, just leave the country.
It's not like the other countries that are going is more better than Nigerians. It's not. It's not like they are richer than Nigeria. It is not.
So what
it's
is
just
the,
personal.
What is the issue?
It's personal decisions. Myself, I'm not going anywhere.
Why is everybody?
Because I cannot go anywhere with my own kingdom.
Why is?
Yes, you cannot be king in another man's kingdom. So I'm stuck.
But that's probably a reason you want to stay, right?
No, I don't see any need. I should be here and fix it.
And fix the country.
Who am I living here for? Am I living here for my unborn child? Am I living here for those that cannot fix it?
Why do we have a lot of people now?
Of course, you see the economy of Nigeria is looking somehow that people believe that in the near future, the system can collapse. Nobody wants the family to collapse. So you look for better ways to protect yourself and your family. So I think that the leaders need to look inward and ask certain questions. Why are these people leaving my country? Does it mean that I'm not managing their resources very well as is expected? Does it mean that I'm not reachable? Does it mean that the cry of the people is not hitting my ears and my heart to do what is needful, to do the right thing? Or does it mean the infrastructures that we think we are building for these people are not good enough? What steps can we take? If you want to talk about fuel scarcity, maybe those people are not actually going there because they want to make the whole billion in the world. First and foremost, rest of mind. You go on the road in Port Harcourt now, you see all our filling stations being locked. Access to petrol, even when you have the money to buy, you cannot access it. It becomes stressful. After struggling in school, after reading all night, you start thinking all night again when you want to work. It's pathetic. It's something that I will not advise anybody to go through psychological trauma in cost of doing the job you want to do for your country. So if you see a better chance to leave, I don't advise you to stay, in as much I'm not telling you to leave.
But then, do you think our leaders really see this as a problem? Or have we all begun to see this as a normal thing?
The leaders are the problem because they send their children abroad to study.
That's
also find ways they should be engaged in abroad. And you are looting our money from here to sponsor them in abroad. And you don't care what happens here. So the children of the poor who think that we can also compete with them. And believe me, most leaders today, we are not come from a well-to-do family. Okay, so they struggle to be where they are. So they want their children not to pass through the struggle they went through when they were coming up. And that is what that has kept us this way, because you allow the child to struggle to some extent. But our leaders provide everything for their children, and their children believe.
Who would not want to provide everything?
Well, there are limit of provisions. Some parents, I don't want to go there. Some parents even aiding their children to do something in the higher institution. So what do you want that child to do? The child may not perform well because he believes the father is always there to assist at any point in time. If you want to discipline a child in the secondary school, the parents will come up, don't touch my child, don't beat my child, allow my child. If he likes, let him learn, or if he likes, he shouldn't learn. I have acquired a lot of properties for him that he can survive in all life. So this was not part of our culture back then as Nigerians. We believe in self-resilience. We believe that we can struggle. 18 years, I think they should also reduce this age from 18 downward to be an adult, because children these days are becoming very smart from the early age that they think they should be independent. But pushing that age to 18, which is our law, says from 18 you are an adult, you can stay on your own. But we have children below 18 that are very smart and can do business. In as much as they still need parental guidance. Already independent. They can be independent, and are they not independent? Are they not reading books? If you check the ages of these medical doctors that they are newly inducted, you see that there are young breed among them, that they will do the best work based on their profession, because at that young age they devoted most of their time in reading. So I think the problem lies in our leaders.
But like I asked earlier, since you have said that the solution lies with the leaders, right?
Yes.
That's what you meant. But then, do they see this as a problem to start with? How do you think they view the brain drain? Because you have already stated, which a lot of other Nigerians know, that lots of our leaders, they have their children outside. So if their kids are outside, it simply means that once you get to a particular age, it's okay to just go out, you know, not just to travel out and come back, but to have it in your plan that once I am this age, I'm leaving this country. I don't know if you have had conversations with young people, or not just young people, with people recently. Because I have. And it feels like everybody has that in their plans.
The issue is not, when we talk about leaders, the mind of the people will just go straight to Tinubu. And they believe that is the leader I'm referring to. It starts from the family. How are you grooming your family? Are you imbibing this culture that Nigeria is the best place to do business? Are you teaching?
How do you want to teach your kids that Nigeria is the best place to do business when practical has shown otherwise?
Of course. There's no better place anywhere else. In some cases. There's no better place. There's no better nation. All that places, they still have their challenges.
Of course.
Everywhere is attached with the peculiar problems. But the ideas on how to solve this problem is what we need to preach to ourselves. In your family, you know, are you preaching the culture that we need to respect ourselves? Starting from the family, the society will be better. But when we focus our mind on only political leaders, that is where we get it wrong. Because they are not only the leaders we have in this country. Family, I'm the leader of my household. I heard my family first before I talk about my own community, before you talk about my local government. The religious leaders also, they are also adding problems to the society, because most of our churches that have headquarters outside Nigerians, you will not see their kids. They groomed to be leaders of these churches, leading the church in Nigeria. They will prefer heading the international headquarters in hosting and any other part of this country.
If you
they are also part of the problem.
If you were in that situation
Let's
and you had an And you had an internet. That's why I'm asking you this.
Yes.
You had an international branch. You leave your kids in Nigeria.
Let their kids be grown.
So even if your children can handle it, because it's your child, you should not go.
They should visit and comes back here. We need that impact from them.
Let's also look at what we can do to make the place better. Since we are preaching that people should not.
It still start from the family.
Yeah.
It still start from the family.
Okay.
Are you getting me? It still start from the family. We were born in family that we believe that anything that our father gives us as a meal, that is what the family have as at that time. We are growing into a family where children dictate to parents what they will eat, and parents are on the pressurized parents on what they will eat. I grew up in a family where if this part we are taking today, that is what the family have for us, and we believe that that is what we can consume as at that time. We are growing into family where children are detecting that don't take part. Maybe I don't eat at home at all. Let me eat in any of the restaurants, which is exorbitant. Sometimes the father willingly in his heart is not willingly to do that, but just to please the child, and that is what Nigeria is passing.
All right, let's actually look at what the government can do, or what role the government can play in making sure that the places or the country is better, especially for business to thrive, for young minds to explore and actually get better and get advanced, even in technology and other aspects. But we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll let you know who our second guest is. Please stay with us. All right, thank you for standing by. Thank you for staying with us. We have with us in the studio, joining us in this conversation, Frank Eneawaji Ogonunu. Good morning to you and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, welcome. I'd really like to get your thoughts on this. We've been talking about the brain drain, especially when we'll have to look at the medical sector, but that's not the only sector that's experiencing brain drain. A lot of Nigerian youths are trooping out of the country. The other day we had about reports of about 70,000 students who will be affected in the UK with a new policy or whatever, and they had to take to the street to protest, and people were screaming, oh my God, we know that of that 70,000, Nigerians are going to take a whole lot of that number. That's how much Nigerians are trooping out. Royal Chief has told us the role that the family has to play, but let's look at what the government can do to make it better.
Well, I want to say that there's no way I will share from the truth. The family has a lot to play, no doubt. But the onus is on also the government to give us an enabling policies. Like in China, some years ago, there was a policy that each family will have a child. It was government that said a family.
One child per family?
Yes.
Not more than one? Not
more than one. It's the government that did that in China. 5 years ago, when they considered that their population was aging, they said, no, let's increase it. Let us increase the children in the family to 2. No, we're talking about government controlling a family. The kind of things that will help the society to be a viable one that can be productive, that can meet the need of the population. So as we discuss, it should be side by side. When government brings up policies, is government able to implement the policies? Is the family ready to obey the policies? And if the family is unable to obey the policy or policies, what is the place of government in making sure that the policies are obeyed? That's the problem of this nation. People in government also undermine the aspect of implementing the policies of their own, of what they have agreed to put out for the public. So you see also, the family is also in a way also playing to the gallery, because those in government are not doing what they're supposed to have done. And those of us who are parents, also, like you said, when I was away, today, people are eating Indomie. Like what he was calling pap is akamu. Why are we shy to say it's akamu? That's what we will know. Today we are thought of my. That's not like being cake. It's my. Let's be proud of what we have. I'm telling you. That's not one of the things. What you can afford. Not because the other person is richer than you. And therefore you do not disguise. No. Our society is living on what I call on pretense. We don't have it. And we have it. Me, I don't pretend. That somebody can mock me, I don't care. But I'm saying it too, because this nation is blessed by God. See, don't when Nigeria saying God. He cannot come down because it's Nigeria. When we talk by my little research, no state in this country is not blessed with natural resources. More than 3, more than 4. I did research 10 years ago. I have written and published. But what is happening? We are not harnessing. I say, what is happening? We are not harnessing the human population. And that's why people are going out to go to where they can use them. Where they can use them as slaves. But they will get their daily bread. And that's what is happening. I got a report last week. Is it in one of the country in Africa? Is it the Kenya or something? Not Kenya. That we have over 70 Nigerians, up to 700 Nigerians in their prisons. In Africa here. So tell me, as we're discussing now, Mediterranean has been taken up, has been killing Nigerians and Africans every year. Why? Because we think that our country cannot provide. You can see, as we're discussing now, our president is where? In China. Trying to sign what they call bilateral agreement. We have been signing, but we don't know how to implement. It's all science. It's not to believe in our policies and implement. It will work for us.
Right, so if that is done, we'll have less people living.
That is it, because see, so first go to America to wash plates. Someone go to America to take care of babies, old people, that will refuse to do it here. Sorry. Here we don't have you can hardly have, even in Port Harcourt here, home of the elderly. How many go there? How many people? In another second, people leave their houses to go to home of the elderly, where government will cater for them.
All right.
So today, people, most of some people who are traveling are not traveling to go and learn, to go to schools. They are going there to see how to make money, considering the value of dollar to naira. If you have $1,000 in now, come to Nigeria, you are a millionaire. So tell me why somebody will not go and be a slave. So, and we've forgotten, the housing policies of those countries are working. It's not true?
Yeah.
But if the influx of people is increasing on a daily basis, how come nobody is sleeping on under the bridges over there?
There are people sleeping.
I mean, if there is, I'm not saying that, but there is not as we see here. But what is the influx of people to America, to Canada? petrol should be under bridges across the land bridge of Canada or Mexico.
Come to think of it, a lot of the people who have traveled out, you know, to stay have complained about the hike. That's the high price of living, the high cost of living there. But they still prefer to
because of the value,
than to come back.
Because see, the system is working. Sorry, like we are not arguing with that. We are providing solutions. The system is working. If you have the money, if you work, you get what you want. Yes, like I said, you can use $5 to buy things in America. $5, but you cannot use $5 to buy anything in Nigeria. Are you aware?
All right.
So
let's look at talking about Nigeria now and some of the things that should be looked into. Another sector that Nigerians have been calling the federal government to look into is the petroleum industry. Let's look at this story now, talking about pump prices of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, may rise above 1,000 naira per litre in filling stations as the cost of the commodity in some private depots has increased to between 920 and 950 naira per litre. So if they're buying at 920, 950, how much do you expect them to sell? You know, this comes as protesters hit the streets of Abuja on Monday, demanding the immediate dismissal of the group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, that's Mele Kyari, over the lingering fuel scarcity in the country. It was gathered that the NNPCL had informed oil marketers about the financial strain regarding the importation of petrol. We took that story here, where they were complaining about how they have to subsidize petrol to resell. This raised concerns among dealers who expressed worry over the possibility of a halt in the importation of petrol by NNPCL. Now, NNPC spokesperson Olufemi Sonoye had earlier declared that the National Oil Company was facing financial strain. NNPC is the sole importer of PMS into Nigeria, and they are shouldering the commodities, the subsidy on the commodities running into several trillions of naira. Now, market officials from the oil company had informed petrol dealers of the development, stressing that this may further lead to a hike in the pump prices of petrol in the coming weeks. Now, only NNPC trading imports petrol, and they have come out frankly to inform marketers that they can no longer sustain it, which means that they are subsidizing the product all this while. The National Publicity Secretary, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Ukadike Chinedu, made this statement. And of course, the cost of petrol at the pumps may rise further in the coming weeks, because up till now, we're not getting enough products. This story highlights a lot of the problems that are currently facing the petroleum industry, especially when you look at the price of fuel. From the reason, talking about Ipman's statements, talking about NNPC statements, talking about the subsidy that has been on, and then the financial strain it is having on NNPC. I'd like to bring you in on this story first, Orochi.
I've said it here before, and I'll still say it again until Mele Kyari is fired. We will not know exactly what is happening in the petroleum sector in this country. And not only him, all the directors should be changed. And let's bring a new brain that can see exactly what is happening in the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Because when you, just like we have our former CBN governor, you know, all the policies, I was surprised yesterday, I saw one old 200 naira note. I was laughing, saying there was a time in this country where we cannot see this currency. But when policies change, when we look at it critically and Nigeria say, no, we can't just abandon this. And that has also changed a lot of things for all of us. We know how we suffered then, because the head have said this policy will work. It has wrong, and it didn't work. So the policies, the methodology is applying importations of PMS into this country. Though we are not talking about DPK, kerosene. We are not talking about that. We don't talk about DPK any longer. And we are talking about gas. We are talking about a lot of things. I would have advised that they encourage the modular refineries that we have been talking about in the Niger Delta region. that if they can encourage the modern refineries and ensure they divert some of these their energies, invest into it, ensure that it works, ensure that the proper regulation guiding this had been regularize it, and ensure that people see needs of coming into the modern refineries at the night during most of our communities in the Niger Delta. I think that will also be a plus in the oil and gas sector. Let them fire all those that cannot deliver. I don't know the chain that is the federal government or they chain themselves. They can voluntarily resign. We saw some service chiefs tendering their resignations.
You don't expect someone who is probably comfortable in a position to voluntarily resign.
There are ways that even those that voluntarily resign, they respect their office so much and respect them as an individual.
But
government will tell you to resign.
It is all
let it not be that you were fired.
Do you understand?
And I'm advising the government to do that immediately so that Nigeria will not be suffering.
If we want something to be done about it, then we have to do something. But just expecting him to just get up and resign. Do you know how long Melekari has been there? We have been having all of these issues, and yes, Melekari has not one day said he wants to resign.
Government should think inward. That is the first step. Second steps, we have a lot of graduates, lot of people. The other day they were employing people to work in their sector, employing a lot of Nigerians. I don't know whether the process has ended. However, these are young people that need to change this country.
To work where? In the refineries?
No, not only the refineries. Which refineries will anybody work?
But people are working.
And that is what they are saying. What are you working when you are not refining for Nigerians? Okay, what are you working? Every day we're talking about refineries. We are not, I'm not there for today for talking about Nigerian refineries because we were told several times that it is going to work so time, and they continue. And during the regime of Melekari, we start hearing all this again. Our son, our brother, our father, who is the Minister of State for Petroleum, I highly hear from him. He's my brother from Bayelsa State. I hardly hear from him upon all the cry of Nigerians. He has not said anything. These are people, these are critical stakeholders that need to come in. Okay, you are telling us that we are aware that we even hit 1,500, but Nigerians know how to manage poverty. We manage everything. We know how to manage, but it's enough for Nigerians to say who are the people making us pass through this hardship. And I think if Melekari, I've said it several times, not only here, he should be fired first. All the directors should be fired. They should be placed on compulsory retirement. And let us see whether things will not work.
All right, is Melekari the problem or is it the system?
When we talk about the system is about human beings. No system works without human factors working hard to make sure the policies that will rejig the policies are implemented. Sorry, like you've said, Melekari Stadium is, in short, is overdue. Like I said somewhere that Nigerians are not civilized. It's like I am going against, I'm against humanity. But in a system that people are conscious, people are enlightened, what is happening in Nigeria will not happen. See, we don't even need anybody. Now I said that we are a country of pretenders. We don't need anybody to tell us we are hungry, to tell us we cannot wear shoe, to tell us we cannot have shelter. All of the needs of man is food. As we are discussing today, Nigerians don't have access to food. Does it mean that food is scarce? No. Food is not scarce in Nigeria. What anywhere?
Food is not scarce.
What is
scarce
today is money. Inflation. Like I said before, can anybody feed on 5 naira in Nigeria? But I can feed on $5 in Nigeria. Quote me anywhere. So the system is about the people. When those in government and those of us outside government are pretending not to see how to work it out, tell me how it will work. We are so insincere that we claim we know God, but we are also working against the cycle of God's creation. Are you aware that God yesterday rain fell in Port Harcourt and beyond? If rain does not fall, the earth will not take seed and allow seed to germinate. Are you aware? Melekari is not productive. I have been to, even within the week, I have been to Port Harcourt Refinery. People are still working there. What are they working for? What are they working on? Mr. President told us last year, 2023, that by the end of December 2023, Port Harcourt Refinery should work. In a civil society, President Salt have resigned. But this president pronouncement is a law. So here we hear people say, give us time, be patient. But they are not patient. They say, praise up. They are not praising up. They are borrowing money, spreading of frivolities. See, like you see this morning, what woke me up was that the price of petrol, like I said, today we are not even talking about kerosene, like I said. Kerosene has gone into extinction. Refined kerosene. The kerosene you see today in our localities is kerosene produced by what you call fire. Yes. And government of Nigeria is intensifying effort day and night to stop what you call illegal bunkering of producing our locally made kerosene, diesel and petrol. It's a good one, but when you don't allow the one that you are fueled to work, tell me how you can also feed your people. But as we're discussing now, Nigeria is not refining. We are only producing crude. We few weeks ago we were told that they have sold our crude up front.
One would wonder,
I don't know how true it is.
One would wonder what exactly, like you have said, are being done in these refineries.
They are working. See, like I was there.
What are they working on? Is that something else that they're producing that we're not aware of?
Let me tell you something. As of before the end of last administration, we were told that they have used $1.5 billion. Go and check Google to put on Port Harcourt refineries. Now, what is the implication? It is not rocket science. It is there just maintenance culture that all of us are pretending, cutting away the money to build houses in Dubai, in Bahamas. We must be sincere until we are sincere. Let me tell you something. Our leaders are keep traveling.
So all of this, is it because of Melekari?
Melekari, I have not said that wrong thing. I said the system is not about the what we call the government, the people.
So if the people are changed, like he recommended changing Melekari and other directors, would that solve the problem?
To me, I will say yes in a way. Let me come to it, like you just said. Who is the Minister of Petroleum? To my informed mind, though it's not written anywhere, it's Mr. President.
Yes.
There's no need to shy away from the truth. It's because Eleki Republic is not Minister of State. What we call a junior, in Nigeria we say junior minister. There are some things he cannot even express his opinion to the president. So it's like it's in a fix. They cannot say anything. President can decide today. Quote me. That's what we see in Nigerian society. The force of Mr. President is a policy that can change anything overnight. If the president says enough is enough, but who knows if the hand of the monkey is in that soup that will turn to a human's hand. Ordinarily, President Tinubu can change Nigeria overnight. Because if everything
Nigeria overnight,
on the issue of
a country that you can change overnight.
No. Sorry.
On the issue of what?
Sorry, my sister. The moment we get it right in the petrol sector, sorry, let's not abuse our sentiment. The moment we get it right in the petrol sector, whether upstream or downstream or offshore, onshore, all the laws of the regulation, the moment we get it right. Are you aware that as we're discussing this morning, we don't know how many cubits, how many barrels that Nigeria as a nation is producing? Navy has arrested people. Are you aware that this country, a small country, Saudi Arabia is a small country compared to American population. The upper quarter of Saudi Arabia is about 9 to 10 million barrels per day. A smaller country. I mean, in terms of population. and they have their own small refineries that are working for them. But Nigeria, OPEC gave Nigeria 1 point something to 2, but as we're discussing today, Nigeria is not producing on daily capacity. So we take our crude. So let me tell you what are the things we must do. First, because someone will say I will just analyze. What are the things to do in this country? Federal government of Nigeria handling NNPC, and NNPC handling our crude should not delay in the next 12 hours to make our refineries to work. That is how we can come out of the wood we are seeing today.
So something that has taken so long with projections and all of that, and it didn't happen, you expect the federal government to do it in 24 hours?
It can be done.
All right.
See, it is the end of see, like he just said. Okay. I believe in, you know, I'm praying to be with the High Chief this morning. See, when the people, the agent of change in this society is the people.
All right.
As we are today, the people are not conscious of what they are.
Thank you so much. So you believe that the federal government, if they take their stand, can make you work?
That is it.
While Royal Chief here says that they should actually take off, they should sack Mele Kyari and all their directors, and those are the recommendations that my guests have given concerning that particular story and solving, especially the fuel scarcity that we have in Nigeria. Now let's move on to the resident doctors. We had reports that was the other day, was last week, that NAD, Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, went on strike. But then we have reports now that they've called off their 7-day nationwide warning strike, instructing members to resume work. And the strike was initiated to demand the rescue of Dr. Ganias Popula, who was kidnapped 8 months ago. NAD plans to reassess the federal government's response to their demands within the next 3 weeks. Despite the government's threat of a no-work, no-pay policy, NAD remained firm. And now President Dr. Dele Abdullahi expressed cautions, optimism about the government's recent action. All right, when NAD went on strike, their 7-day warning strike, we're expecting to hear from the federal government. And then the next thing we heard is, if you don't work, you will not get paid. A lot of Nigerians were not expecting that, but you're Nigerian. What were you expecting from the federal government at that time?
Like we all know how labor law, our unions should operate. If we actually want to operate based on the laws of this country, we have a grand norm, which is the Constitution. Did the Constitution give right to these doctors to go on strike if they have issue? Yes. If their demands are not met, did they have the right to go on strike? Yes. So who is breaching the Constitution here? If the law says that, having complained, we have exhausted all the negotiations, all the dialogue, the last option should always be strike. But sometimes the first options are strike, which I don't accept that. It should be last options. And once we have decided, they say injury to one is injury to all. The medical doctors, they are the live wires of some of our families, including me here. Because if I feel sick, the next place to go is medical facilities to get drugs and get, including those our leaders who don't believe in the health sector in Nigeria. They don't believe that we have medical doctors here because they have the resources to travel abroad to assess any medical needs they want to do at any time. So you don't have any right, the federal government doesn't have any right to threaten medical doctors or any other union that are demanding their legitimate right. They are demanding their legitimate right. They don't have any right. So it is where I will complain about the legislatures. Did the federal government at any point in time, who make this statement? Okay, they will say the federal government. But somebody is making this statement on behalf of the federal government. Has the person violated any laws? These people are demanding that their members should be released. What are the chances that this person will be released soon? And again, they continue to bite. When, like my father will tell me, that don't tame the dog. The bite of the dog of a local bingo in the village that had rapists in his mouth, you don't joke with it. Once you have been bite, you have been bite. So if they want to bite, they'll bite it hard. Okay, you went on a warning strike. Now you are giving instruction to your members to come back. How do you think the federal government will take you? That was what we complained about other labor unions when they want to go on strike. It's like anytime something pains you, you want to use the strike as a tool to threaten.
Okay, so
it shouldn't be a tool to threaten. It should be a tool to demand what you want.
Right. So do you see this strike as a threat or as a tool, like you said, to demand?
It is their right to go on strike. But have they achieved what they went on strike for? No. Why are you calling back the strike when you don't achieve what you want?
It's a warning strike.
A warning strike, yes, it should last for 7 days. Okay, it is good. But do you know how many people that might have died in cause of this warning strike in the hospitals?
And then what you stated earlier about the fact that it's a 7-day strike, and that skipped now what I wanted to say. But what you said earlier, the fact is that about dialogue now, that you see strike as should be the last resort. But then, does it mean that for 8 months, the resident doctors have not dialogued with the federal government at all? When this person has been in the kidnappers' den for 8 months? But I'll come back to you with that answer. Let's get your reaction to the story.
Well, it's unfortunate that we are going on strike because people are in the enclave of kidnappers for months within the country that we call a sovereign nation. And the only way to drive home their demand is strike. It's unfortunate. See, ordinarily, resident doctors do not need to go on strike. It's the government that should be proactive. If human life in Nigeria is sacrosanct, if my life is important, what we hear in this country is that when there is a report of killing, they will ask how many people were killed. Oh, 2. That one is 2.
You think people say thank God?
Thank
God, there are no much. Oh my God.
So we are playing on human life in Nigeria. So ordinarily, do they need strike? As we're discussing now, the kidnappers are still negotiating. Like we just discussed last week, that they released our husband because of health challenge. Is it in the moon that we are yet to go? It's still in the territory of Nigeria. And yet, the armed forces, the DSS, cannot bust the cartel. You just heard what happened is in Ogun State, where a 70-year-old girl was kidnapped, ransom paid of 1 million naira, and after paying the ransom, the girl was they killed the girl. It's on the news. I got a report of kidnap cases across the country. As we're discussing now, even in Bonny River now, in about 2 or even like yesterday, about two days ago, some have been kidnapped, about 10 persons kidnapped. We don't need rocket science. I was told, 2 years yesterday, that a retired police officer said the tracker that's supposed to be one of the tools to use in tracking kidnappers are being used by politicians to track their perceived political opponents. So that is the human system that is helping us to fail in at least curtailing the excesses of criminal elements. What they're supposed to use to fight crime is being used to fight political opponents and put on their workers, secretaries, whether they will defraud them. So what I want to say, we don't need strike by the doctors. It's the inability of the government that protects us.
But do you see this strike as extreme, having in mind the consequences?
No. I will not say extreme. No. It's because, in Nigeria we have been told, if you want to let government know that actually you are suffering, the only option is strike. Not even dialogue, because you can't tell me that they have not been dialoguing. You can't tell me that Mr. President did not hear that the chief of defense staff, that even the Inspector General of Police did not know that such a high-profile doctor, so to say, in Nigeria, is still in the custody. I use that word in quote, custody of criminals. For about, I think I got the report, he was kidnapped in December last year, and he's still there. And other kidnapping activities are ongoing and unabated. So such will not stop, because it has become commercialized until people say no. But these people now, It is not underground they stay. Sorry. They are staying on the surface of the earth in Nigeria.
Then a lot of lives were put at risk in that strike.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, ordinarily we don't need that strike. I said we don't need that strike. But because I was told a few years ago that the only message the government of Nigeria used to hear, to listen to, at least to attend to the needs of Nigeria is strike.
All right.
So that's why the strike was there.
Thank you so much, Frank. About you, Chief, would you like to add to that before we move on?
Yes, I've said it before, that the last option should be strike. And when the strike failed, because like it is now, they did not do anything, the warning strike, government is not even showing any concern. Government is not bothered about who was kidnapped and how to rescue that person. Maybe we keep praying that maybe God will touch the heart of his adopters to free that person.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Royal Chief, for that. At this point, we're going on a short break, and when we return, the conversation will continue. We have other interesting stories. Please stay with us. All right, thank you so much for staying right here with us. We have reports about the detained Binance executive, Tigran Gambarian. A detained Binance executive reported to a federal high court in Abuja that his health has worsened due to inadequate medical care at Kuje Correctional Center. He entered the courtroom using crutches and requested a wheelchair, which was eventually ordered by Justice Emeka Nwite after his counsel highlighted the deterioration of his condition. The prosecution contends that Gambarian is exaggerating his health issues. The court also addressed concerns about incomplete documents from the Central Bank of Nigeria and scheduled the next trial session for September 4. He faces $35 million money laundering charges alongside Binance and regional manager Nadeem Anjawala, who fled custody earlier this year. This story has been real core in the news. It has been followed by a lot of Nigerians closely, but then him complaining about his health in the Kuje Correctional Center, and then talks about him just exaggerating his health condition when we have medical experts who can actually tell us the actual condition of his health. Royal Chief.
I've been in correctional centers, so many of the correctional centers in Nigeria. Even tomorrow I will still be in Totako Correctional Center. They have medical doctors.
You have to tell us why you're going there, because it's sounding like...
Yes, I visited inmates to know their condition.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, as if I'm the one.
You said you have been there and you'll be there.
Yes, I visited and see
please.
things. I observed that they have experts, they have medical doctors on ground to treat any case of emergencies and all that. And they are the ones to give us reports that actually this person is having this illness or that, not you. Because if you complain, you have to be checked. And the medical results should come out and they can tender that in court. Because their own profession is also at stake. If you lie on oath, if you're a medical doctor and you say that I'm having issues with my limbs, I'm having issues with my health, and you lie because you want to punish me because of a crime that is still investigation that is still ongoing, either is guilty or not, the court has not pronounced. So you have the right for us to assess medical care. I believe they have qualified medical doctors in all the correctional centers across Nigeria. And if there's issue concerning any inmate awaiting trial or thereabout, it should allow them to access medical care. And again, they requested for a wheelchair. Okay, it is funny. It's becoming not a culture. It's becoming a culture with Nigerians. Once you have issues in court or you are in correctional center, you develop illness by yourself. You can mention any illness that this. There are times they make politicians do that mostly. They can mention any illness that doesn't exist. Sometimes they have issue with their leg, but they are bandaged at the end.
His wife has actually been complaining about his health ever since the arrest.
Complaint has been taken.
So, yes.
But I believe that those medical doctors that in that Kuje prison should come up with a report that actually what this man is talking about is a concern. Again, if Nigerians, if they want to punish you, which I don't expect that kind of punishment to come, because if he dies, the case ends. So you need to protect the lives of everybody, your inmate that is there, because if they die, the case ends. So provided they are alive and you are investigating, you want to see results, you give them the best treatment, no matter their crime.
All right. Why does this sound absurd? Does it mean that our correctional centers are now different from the ideology that Nigerians have about them?
You see, sometimes we try to hide some things. The issue is that the system, like we are discussing the system. We just heard a few days ago in Calabar, about the kind of ration they are giving to them. And they said they will investigate. Now, everybody has right to life and good health. This man we are discussing this morning has been in Nigeria for some time now. He has seen the politics of medicine in Nigeria when it comes to prison by our elites. Hardly you see any politician who is behind the bar saying he's unfit. I mean, he's fit. My head. The moment the EFCC brings a charge against them, somebody must develop, like he said, somebody must develop one illness that we may not have that Greek and Latin words, because almost all the medical terms are in Greek and Latin.
But do you think this is one of those conditions?
No, I am not. What I'm trying to say is that if we are not just to conclude, there is need for him to be given medical attention. That's what I'm saying. Mind you, he's a foreigner. No matter the crime he has committed, some Nigerians are in foreign prisons. What we call correctional center is a prison. Forget about that. But being a correctional center, my attitude, if I'm there, I should be corrected. But this is sometimes some of us go there and become arrogant. Because of this situation we see there. We have heard a lot of things about what has happened. For me, I pray that the man should be given medical attention, whether it's fake. And those who should involve in the diagnosis should be sincere. Because sometimes we can give a fake medical report of what is not in existence. All because we want the judge to give a judgment and say, please, free him, let him go and attend. Before, like it has happened, was it 5 years ago, somebody was flown out of the country, in this country. So if that is the case, for me, those who should take care of him should be sincere. Because the case is still ongoing. No judgment has been passed. But now we are discussing about his ailment. And so let there be proper diagnosis of whatever that is the man is suffering from. Not just that as we are discussing that we don't know the kind of ailment he is suffering from. But is according to him now he should be given wheelchair. When he went there he was not having wheelchair. And again, I will also say this also. Our correctional should not be a place where people are punched with their fist to fall. But then sometimes some criminals are facing a lot of things in the prison. We have also said that our prisons or correctional center are congested. So there is need also for more facilities to be built. Because you know, I used to interview some prisoners. That place is not where you will go. And if you are not a man who is going to change, and you come back and change, and you become even more terrible to society, that tells you go and be reformed.
Why is that?
Because of the nature of life there.
What are you referring to?
So even the food they give them there. Government is the one paying for the food though. But I know that some what do you call it? All those who are in charge of the prison, the warders and the rest. Sometimes the management of the prison of the so-called correctional centers will not give the people the normal ration of their daily feeding. You know, I was told that even the food, the beans or whatever they cook, is outdone.
They don't put oil.
They don't put anything. They don't put the ingredients.
There are people that are half blind in the correctional centers because you don't have oil.
So it's not a good thing.
But you know that the management of these correctional centers have also complained about the finance, the money that comes.
Now, so who is the one? It's the government.
Exactly.
So
because
the government
on their own side,
that's
probably the reason they're not using all of those.
I
things
agree with you.
Which they gave as their excuse.
But they are not complaining publicly to the government.
If I may come in, I don't have that. I don't think they should have what we call special say. Every image should be treated equally. But when you have a special say for some categories of crime, it becomes an issue. They concentrate on those categories of people. But in the name that you are in a correctional center, then leave those other categories of persons to be tortured, to don't have access to medical, you don't have access to good food, and all of them will say we are in correctional centers. Let everybody be treated equally. You don't have there are inmates that are using phones. There are inmates that sleep on vibrated beds. They sleep in a comfortable. There are inmates that is watching us in the correctional centers.
And sending money to the people outside.
They do every businesses. They have access to everything, and they say they are in the correctional centers. These other categories of awaiting trials, which are majority in some of the correctional centers, they don't have those. You are not there to enjoy. Actually, you are there because you committed a crime, or we suspect you for a particular offense. We are trying you. The best I think the correctional center should do: find a way to decongest the prison. Try those that minor crimes. Those minor crimes, Yesterday, I was to sign for a boy that visited somewhere in Rumola in Port Harcourt, and the mother, they told the mother that sometimes I used to go and visit this inmate to counseling them the best way to live. And they called me, and when I was investigating, hearing from this guy, what happened? He walked into a shop, and when he was leaving, they suspected him that he had stolen a phone. And in course of that, the police was involved. He found himself in Degemat prison. He has been there for some months. Without trial, without anything, he has just been there.
Without trial,
nothing.
But that
he has just been there.
So first, let me tell you what happened to me some years ago as a student. That was my final year. I was staying. Our house was First Avenue in the first of Ojare. I was to cross the flyover, and by then bike was running in Port Harcourt to take a bike to our house from school. There was a raid by the police. Because of the hoodlums terrorizing that my one
Yes.
flyover. I was arrested, put in the van, drove to police station, my own police station. And by the time I got there, I saw hundreds of young men there on the lawn there, facing trial. This one is a case. If you're not able to prove your case, they put you inside or you pay some money. What saved me? That was in 1999. What saved me was that when he became a governor, he floated these free school bus and train and the rest of it. So I was one of those writing on these free school buses and the train, and my lecturer was in charge of. So I just saw my lecturer going to the table where the panel of judges were judging us, and I shouted, "Sir." The man just turned to me. I said, "Frank, what are you doing here?" I said, "I was going home from school. They just asked me to enter vehicle. That's where I was." He just told what saved me, just told the people that it's my boy. I was set free.
wow.
So what are we saying? A cultural center should have therapists of all kinds. Therapists.
Yes.
Should have psychologists.
Yes.
Sorry, it's not just it, like he just said also. If, for instance, somebody has been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment, it should undergo some certain studies there. It should be given room to hear some things.
But when we have not even looked at the basic things like food,
that's what I'm saying.
Healthcare,
and that's the problem we are discussing now. You know, we are talking. This man is a foreigner, which also Nigerian will try to make it so polished as nothing is happening. The truth is that when you go to the state of our cultural center, it's appalling. I've been there. Sorry, I've entered a correctional center or prison at around the Abba Road, Aziz. Yes. At the Bundu before you go to Bundu. The truth is that people who are managing the facilities, they are Nigerians. The government is sending the daily meal of the people. He says the management, but if we want people to become good citizens of this country, we should give them good care.
That's it.
If I'm sentenced to life imprisonment, I know that I'm not coming back.
Yes.
Give me also food to live there.
All right, thank you so much, Frank. Look at the next story now. Experts and policymakers across Africa are advocating for a strong manufacturing sector to drive economic growth and currency stability. The Pan-African Manufacturers Association, PAMA, emphasizes investing in infrastructure, technology and skilled labor, drawing comparison to China's economic success. PAMA argues that boosting exports can stabilize local currencies, reduce dependency on foreign currencies and enhance regional integration. The association supports policy that foster industrialization, create larger markets and increase Africans' global competitiveness.
It is not new for me. That is what we're talking about. It is not new. We've talked about agriculture here several times.
So what is stopping us from actually completely utilizing that idea?
When we are talking about, you should encourage local entrepreneurs, local agricultural
manufacturers and production.
You understand? To go into start taking loan from government. The other day we are increasing every minute, and then you don't consider some private sectors, people that can come into business. What are the security that we are talking about? Should I be accessing my farm and I will be kidnapped? How are local people? So that we are talking about export now. If there's no production, that cannot be export. So first and foremost, we must look at those challenges we are facing and handle it. It's not only by government. Some people want to monopolize the systems. If you are coming in, they label anything against you so that you'll be frustrated. We've seen that happen in several areas. We've seen that happen in several areas. So this attitudinal behavior that we need to change. We need to look inward and say, no, it is right time we rise. It is the right time we do what is good. And how do we do that? We go back to the situation, reassess yourselves, reassess your activities, your times, where are you facing challenges? But this is a holistic statement that covers a lot of areas. So if you want to look at it, it's a diverse area that we must a particular angle. For now, let me concentrate on loan. The interest rate on loan is high. If you want to talk about free loan to business people that are registered business owner, my mothers and fathers in my own community, they can't even access a loan. Even the government loan are being politicized. And they politicize, you don't belong to party B or party C, you don't have access. They stay in their offices. They'll be writing names of those that don't even in the communities, those that don't even come home, those that don't even have access to farm. Then the genuinity of the people has been died. They died with their experience. You have access to your farm and nobody is encouraging you because they do not pass through the right source. And who are the right source to pass through? You come back to community leaders. You come back to community leaders. Some of these associations are throwing this association because they have political fathers. They have people in the hands of affairs that can always protect them, not the will of the people, against the will of the people rather. So I believe if we want to produce and export all our commodities, talking about agriculture, talking about steam, talking about coal, we talked about crude oil recently. It is part of what we are talking about. How could we do that? Government should create the enablement, the peaceful environment.
All right. The
peaceful environment where business can strive. We are talking about Rivers State. Thank God these days we don't be hearing about so many killings in the state. So I believe the government, they are doing their part so that investors can come. We cannot do it alone. Collaboration should be the key. And local government area where these people can implement. All our eyes are on federal government. Like this statement, you may be complaining federal government. What happened to the local government that they are now autonomous? How many of our caretaker chairmen in Rivers State are they initiating agriculture? Are they talking about agriculture? Are they talking about food production in our respective communities? How many? How many of them are empowering the women to go into massive agriculture? How many of them are giving access, giving free loan to our people? They don't do that, and we don't expect anything to be exported. Gary, the Ogoni Aziz, we have Gary. In the Anthony Aziz, they go to fishing. How many persons providing fishing train for community people? Okay, we can provide this fishing boat for you. If you go for fishing, you can be remitting this amount of money gradually to government, and you have it as your own. You feed your family and feed the community.
Provided at all, or it is provided by the government, and then the people in charge are politicizing
it. They politicize it. There is a policy that says do this, and there is a budget for that sector. That is why the other day, just like we have mentioned, the Minister for State for Environment, Petroleum, that is very silent. I have told you, I cannot recall. I don't even know the name of the Minister of Agriculture.
Okay. Yes,
I don't know his name because he's not always telling us what are the strategic plan of his ministry. Are they implementing some strategies? Is it affecting lives at the local level? How many times did they call commissioners of the 36 states to do conference? How many times conference we've been hearing commissioners of finance in some of our states talking about economic policies? They'll be having meetings and all that about. So our commissioners in our respective states should collaborate, and I think that should be the first step they should do.
But let's talk about what we expect from the government when as regard enhancing agriculture. No, not just agriculture, manufacturing in Nigeria to help strengthen the naira.
We must first of all look at the power sector. Today, most of the machines used in manufacturing industries within this country, I won't talk outside this country, is powered by electricity. And the cost of production today, we have been told about 7, 10 years, 20 years ago that not that we don't have the raw materials, we have the raw materials, but the cost of production. like today we are discussing the price of refined petroleum products that you cannot afford. For instance, you go and buy 10 liters of petrol. 10 liters is for now above, I would say above 9,000. It's about 9,000 naira, if not. And we are envisaging that we are going with by 1,004. So if I want to buy 10 liters to power me as a barber, tell me how we make it. So before you go, I don't mean going to a first class barber salon. I mean, like in my village, I want to go and cut my hair, and someone will tell me my 1,000 naira that I cannot even afford in a day. So what government should look into, like the issue of government, can we generate electricity that will reach to even to rural dwellers? But it's not only in the cities that production should take place. Government should engage in rural development.
All right.
And make road accessible. See, Nigeria as a nation has the market. No doubt. Today, see, if you go to the market of Nigeria, where you mention all the high-profile shops in Nigeria, what you see there in the shops are what? Foreign products.
All right, thank you
so much. So we must look at how we can
enhance electricity. All right,
and roads.
Okay, all right. Let's look at the SANU now, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities. They're calling for the immediate payment of 4 months withheld salaries for its members at the end of their 49th Executive Council meeting. SANU's National President Mohammed Ibrahim expressed frustration that despite President Bola Tinubu's directive, the salaries have not been paid nearly 2 months later. SANU also raised concerns about unpaid earned allowances, which were budgeted at 50 for 2023 but remained unsettled. The union urged the government to expedite these payments and swiftly renegotiate the 2009 agreement to avoid further disruptions in the education sector. Let's get your thoughts on this.
It's very, very unfortunate. Now, Mr. President has given directive that such money should be paid.
And 2 months later.
And when President Buhari told, which former President Buhari told the Inspector Police to go to Benue State to see how to bring the program there under control, the Inspector Police did not go, and later the President is unaware that it did not go. And that is one of the things that will not make anything to. When a common man violates the law of government, you see the swifts of implementation, the way they will manhandle you, the way the police will jump up and down, and jump, even when they are knocking, say, I'm coming, they will push that door open. That's what you see in this country. But you can imagine, Mr. President has given directive back to ask those people that they pay these people money, no feedback in the space of even 1 week. The mandatory put in place to pay the money, not known. So it is a wrong signal that is causing us to go down where we're supposed to go. Because ordinarily, like I said, in any society that has any leader occupying a position, like he is a chief, if in his domain he gives an order, and after 24 hours he doesn't want to know whether the order has been implemented, there's something is wrong in that society.
All right, Chief,
so that's the problem.
I think the Minister of Education, he came on the other day trying to implement some government policy. You can write WAEC and NECO. He should be queried with immediate effect for not doing his job, since it's part of what he should do to ensure that staffs in those our lecturers, our teachers should be paid. And for 2 months they've not been paid. He found one thing, should be fired, because the other day he was very quick to talk about the issues of our children, because he had money to send his children abroad. So I think it's very sad that I haven't worked and there's a directive, maybe I went into borrowing, that look, in 2 months time I will clear my debt. What of those that have died because of Gavin Hook? And who do you know the ages of these guys? Because we were told that we are going to be paid in certain numbers of days, and it was getting 2 months and you are not being paid. First and foremost, they should investigate the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Education, they should be queried and let them tell Nigerians what causes the delay. Is the delay also part of petroleum that we don't know who is importing and exporting?
All right.
It?
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your thoughts on Royal Chief. Mother child.
By His grace.
Frank, thank you so much for joining us today on Atlantic Blowout.
It's a pleasure. I'm a Nigerian that believes that if Nigerians want this government, this country to work, it will work.
All right,
it's not going to nuclear science.
And that you and thank you so much for being a part of the show. Remember that we are open for sponsorship and partnership. Stay connected with us on all of our socials. On Facebook and YouTube, we are Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, we are Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, we are Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We'll do this again tomorrow, same time, same station. I am Enidoye Jackson. Coming up next is Open Conversation. Please stay with us.